What the hell are you doing
here? Hey, look! Isn't that Cassidy?
Don't change the subject, you sad little...
Why don't we settle this over ice cream, huh, John? Just like in the good old days.
How did you get up here? I don't want anyone to see you. Everyone, even the most hapless of creatures, has a gift. Something that makes them special, that makes them worth knowing. Foul-smelling Weekly is no exception. No matter what he does, it's impossible to stay mad at him for too long.
This bourbon shake is delicious. Want a taste?
You know I don't like milk.
Your loss. So, Joe Dunn hangs himself and leaves his gym to his daughter, which makes her the first woman to run a boxing gym, I think.
I don't think Dunn killed himself.
What? Do you have a suspect? Any leads?
No, it's just a hunch. Although... I haven't identified the murderer just yet. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's just a hunch. I wouldn't bet my life on it. I've got other suspects, like O'Leary, the bookmaker.
Desmond O'Leary? The same O'Leary who used to date Helen Moore? America's sweetheart? Now that's a woman.
And then there's the Walrus. Who was that guy?
Come on. You've never heard of Frank Cassidy? The president of the Boxing Managers Association?
Who's also Stone's agent, Bobby Yale's rival.
Hey, he might have a motive, right? He might know something about Dunn's death, right?
I decided to ask Weekly to investigate Cassidy. My reasons? Weekly was right. Cassidy could have had a motive to kill Dunn. Weekly had already proven to be nosy. The farther I kept him from the gym, the better. But with Weekly, you just never know what the best approach might be. Should I give him an order, or a subtle suggestion? Yeah, you might be right about Cassidy. But, it won't be easy to make him talk. He seems like a pretty tough cookie. Only a thorough and efficient detective could pull it off. But the problem is, I already got enough on my plate.
You're a lucky man, John Blacksad.
I don't follow.
You just found the thorough detective you need.
Oh, of course. What a great idea. How did I not think of you?
Hey, don't sweat it. But you'll have to do me a favor. Tell Sonia Dunn that a legendary journalist from What's News wants an interview.
Weekly, please.
Well, if not, bye-bye, Cassidy.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Great. That's settled then.
By the way, I never told you what happened to Colbert, did I?
No. What happened?
The rhinoceros came by and offered me money to keep quiet.
Wow. Are we talking petty cash or big bucks?
The latter.
That's my boy. Good job, Blacksad.
Your boy Blacksad didn't take the money.
What?
Listen, Weekly.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't the right thing to do. Yada, yada, yada.
So, was there really someone on the roof?
There was, but it was just a friend of mine.
Oh, so now your friends are spying on me.
Look, I had nothing to do with it. I even got him to stop.
Sure you did.
Dunn kept files on the gym's staff and clients. Name, address, and date of birth. Big, bright eyes. Looks well rested. Either she didn't mourn her father, or she really knows how to work that makeup. Did you and your father get along?
Let's just say our relationship got better when I left for Sunny University. An 8-hour drive from here.
Meaning?
I'll lay it out for you, Mr. Blacksad. My father, Joe Dunn, disappeared the day my mother died. He became a shell of himself. Joe Dunn, my legal guardian. A man who gave me food, shelter, clothing, and an education. And that's more than you need to know.
I saw you arguing with a guy named Cassidy. What did he want?
Remember the fight that needs to take place in order to save this gym?
Well, Cassidy manages Yale's rival, Stone, the reigning champion.
If Bobby doesn't show up, he'll lose money. Maybe not a lot, but enough to care.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Seemed like a happy family. I'd like to take a look inside that safe now. Could you give me the combination?
I'd love to help you, but my mother's birthday used to be the combination, but I already tried it.
Could you tell me your birthday?
Of course, March 6th.
And the year?
I'm 24, Mr. Blacksad. You do the math.
No luck. Dunn kept files on the gym's staff and clients. Name, address, and date of birth. Dunn's room had quite a view. Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Damn. A good place to spy on Sonia. I don't even want to imagine Weekly falling from up here. I don't even want to imagine Weekly falling from up here. Do you remember anything else about Joe Dunn and Bobby Yale's argument?
No, not really, no. Only Joe yelling. If you do, I'll call off the fight and kick you out of the gym.
I found an empty wine bottle on the rooftop. Did Joe Dunn drink?
Only for a while, back when his wife died. But eventually he quit. After that, he'd only drink on special occasions.
Not all folks are as open-minded as Dunn. I happen to know who painted the lockers. Arthur Tucker.
I knew it! I knew it was him, that bastard. I'm gonna whip the white out of him.
Thank you, Mr. Blacksad.
Does the postman always leave your mail on the floor?
I don't know,
What's wrong?
It's my mother's wedding ring.
Who had it?
I don't know. My father wore it on his pinky finger after she died.
Not always, apparently.
Will you find out why?
I'll try. But there's something else I'm worried about. This might have something to do with your father's death and Bobby Yale's disappearance.
Oh my, yes. It could be. Will you please give me a moment?
Of course. Okay. Mary put the wedding ring in the envelope and wrote Sonia Dunn on it. But why did she have the ring in the first place?
Yes?
Feeling any better?
Yeah, I guess. Thanks.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Let's talk a bit more about Joe Dunn. How was Joe Dunn outside the gym?
I wouldn't know. I only saw him at the gym or right there. That was his spot. I think everyone liked him.
Can you tell me how you found Dunn's body?
Well, I thought I was alone. I clean early in the morning before Mr. Dunn comes in.
Oh, so you have keys to the gym.
Yes, of course. There was paint on the floor, so I thought it'd be a busy morning. And then I saw him, hanging there, like a baby mobile over a crib. Then I think I panicked. When I calmed down, I called the police and waited outside. Sorry, that's all I can say.
Don't worry. But if you remember anything else, let me know. What kind of boss was Joe Dunn?
A good one. Always paid on time, never raised his voice. If I asked for the day off, he even cleaned the gym.
Thanks, but I still don't get why he'd commit suicide. I heard his relationship with his daughter wasn't ideal.
Oh, really? Poor man. I don't have kids, but that has to be really hard.
Maybe he simply had money issues.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be. The gym didn't really get that dirty lately.
His wife died years ago. Maybe he never got over it.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he did. That was a long time ago.
Any ideas where Bobby Yale could be?
How am I supposed to know? He's rarely there when I clean the gym. Bobby seems like a nice kid, but I barely know him.
What can you tell me about Sonia Dunn?
I barely know her, but she looks like a smart girl, poor thing.
What do you think about Jake Ostiambi?
Who? Who's that?
A big gorilla. Boxer, too. A friend of Joe Dunn's.
Oh, yeah. I barely know him. I don't like how he looks at me.
Can I ask you about your job?
Which one?
Tell me about your work here in the diner.
Oh, it's wonderful. I love it. My boss.
Oh, glad to hear that. How long have you worked at the gym?
It's been, 4 or 5 years? Although, I don't think I'll be able to set foot in there again.
This must be really hard for you. I'm sorry. Other than the diner and the gym, you don't work anywhere else, right?
I wouldn't have the time, although I'm not sure I want to continue working at the gym.
If I were you, I wouldn't quit. Trust me, it might be painful at first, but time heals all wounds.
Joey used to say the same thing. Maybe. I don't know. Thanks.
Have you remembered anything else about the moment you found Dunn's body?
I really can't remember anything. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I think that's it for now. See you around.
We'll miss you at Sam's Diner. Bye-bye.
Were Mary Purnell and Joe Dunn an item?
Hi, Mr. Blacksad.
Have you remembered anything else about the moment you found Dunn's body?
I really can't remember anything. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I think that's it for now. See you around.
We'll miss you at Sam's Diner. Bye-bye.
What if Mary's birthday is the combination to the safe? And there it was, Mary's birthday, a week prior to that very day. I never would have taken Dunn for a gun owner. A few bucks, just petty cash.
You open the safe?
Yeah, and I think you need to see this. Can you tell me what it says?
All right. I think this might be useful for the investigation, Mr. Detective. He left everything to me, except some boxing trophies and knickknacks that'll go to Bobby Yale.
When was it signed?
It was written 4 years ago, just weeks after I moved to Buffalo.
Do you think Bobby Yale read it before he disappeared?
Maybe.
Congratulations. You're one lucky lady.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
All right. Thanks. I never asked about the gym's insurance.
That's exactly what I'm reading now. So far, it looks like your standard small business policy.
I think I know who had your mother's ring.
You do?
Mary Purnell. I think she was in love with your father.
Thank you. Thank you.
What can you tell me about Jake?
I thought you were friends. Guess I was wrong. He and my father were friends, so don't go down that road.
Did you get along with Bobby Yale? Okay. Forget it.
I wouldn't give a damn about him if it weren't for this stupid gym his stupid fight is supposed to save. Happy?
What do you think about Mary, the cleaning lady?
Can't say. I barely know her. And I'm not one who's quick to judge other people.
Thanks. That's it for now. I get it. You don't like me. But there's something you need to know.
I'm all ears.
I'll grow on you. You'll see.
Duly noted, Mr. Blacksad.
You see, I've got this friend. He's a journalist, and the thing is, well...
And what?
He would... A woman running a boxing gym? That's quite the story.
And how did this friend of yours find out, exactly?
Well, I might have said something.
I don't even want to hear you. I just hope you prove your professional worth before the day is over.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Did you know Joe Dunn had a gun in his safe?
No way, man. He hated firearms. Although, when Bobby Yale was a teenager, he went through a crazy phase. Even dropped out of the gym and joined the gang. Nothing serious. Early one morning, he broke in the gym. Joe was already here and caught him red-handed. Bobby pointed the gun at Dunn and ordered him to open the safe. So, Joe opened it and asked Bobby to put the gun aside, leave the gang, and start boxing again. I got here 5 minutes later and found Bobby crying like a baby in Joe's arms. Then he just stood up and put on his gloves.
Joe Dunn or Joey Dunn?
Huh? Nobody called him Joey. Well, maybe his wife. Although, she didn't call him anything after she died.
I'd prefer a yellow Cadillac, but I can't complain. I'd prefer a yellow Cadillac, but I can't complain. Do you remember anything else about the day you found the thingamajig with the springs and the paint cans?
Yeah, no. Wait, yeah. Well, no, now that I think of it, no. Hey, pal, how about thanking a good-looking goat with a cigarette?
Of course. Here you go.
Oh, come on. You know, cigarettes have lots of very healthy properties. Yeah, you think you're not responsible. Oh, come on. Think you're not to blame?
It's just that they shipped me off too.
Government shipped me off to war. Oh, right. So then you think you're not responsible. Well, then another said, think you're not to blame?
Yeah, I killed. They shipped me off, too.
Well, then another sad hobo. Should the government paid for everything? Army fatigues, rations, weapons, lodging at hookers, drugs. Do you know where that money comes from? Taxes! Your taxes, my dear friend. You help them cut my legs. They declare war. Every chance they get, so that the weapon industry that finances their campaigns gets richer and richer and richer. And that's how we finance their wars. So the slightest connection with corruption turns us into accomplices. Unless one manages to keep at arm's length. That is what I did, my loyal disciple, at the Million-Star Hotel. So, do you like your master, the great?
Hey, what's your name? You never told me...
Smirnoff.
I think I have a new lead on the Dunn case. Dunn and the gym's cleaning lady were about to get married.
Great. Call What's News. They'll know what to do with such an incredibly interesting piece of information.
The combination on Dunn's safe was her birthday. He even gave her a ring. You know, your typical suicidal bliss.
Okay, I'm still not convinced, but I might have something for you.
Life is often off-key, like a bad song. The notes come together but feel flat, unable to create anything resembling music. And yet, there are ways to string them together to create harmony. Ways that are not always entirely in our hands.
You look tired, John.
You look pretty tired yourself.
Yep, I'm beat. I'm starving. Just got back from the annual police medical. Not only did I have to fast, but I also had to chug 2 enormous glasses of water. John, you alright?
I've had better days, and I'll have them again, I hope.
We both deserve to. The thing is, I'd love to help you out with this case, but I can't. You know I work for the state of New York. If I had any information, I couldn't share it with a private eye. Even if it was lying on top of this table.
You said you were starving. Why don't you go to the counter and order something?
Yeah, sure, good idea. If you'll excuse me.
Interesting.
Now that I think of it, I better eat at home. It's healthier.
Thanks.
Truth is, John, it all seemed clear to me before, but now? Please, promise me you won't take the law into your own hands. I'd like to think we're not just vigilantes.
I'll try, but sometimes there's no alternative.
All right. In any case, keep me posted, will you?
Friend, you can count on it.
Take care, John.
As always, Smirnov had given me new, potentially relevant information. Not to mention second thoughts. When an old dog like him gets that serious, one must be prepared to bite. and I can barely reach the noose. There's no way Dunn hanged himself. Not on his own, at least. Bobby Yale. I don't know if you had a motive to kill Dunn, but you certainly had the murder weapon. Christ. Did Yale kill Dunn just because he wanted to call off the fight?
I always knew Bobby had issues. But I never thought he'd go that far.
A part of me thinks Bobby Yale didn't do it.
But the chest expander, the box in his locker, the marks on my father's neck. It all leads to him. In any case, that doesn't change a thing.
It does, actually. Now we know he didn't kill himself.
My father's still dead, and you still haven't found Bobby Yale. Nothing has changed. Opening the safe and finding my father's will won't help us achieve anything. So please hurry. Time's wasting.
All right. Dunn punched a paint can. But why? Wasn't he calm and composed? Did you find anything interesting in those papers?
No. Investigation work takes time, as I'm sure you know.
Something just doesn't add up. What exactly was he saying?
Something like, if you do that, I'll call off the fight and make sure you never set foot in this gym again.
I'd prefer a yellow Cadillac, but I can't complain. I know you're hiding something.
What?
You know what? You're the only woman who ever called Dunn Joey, except his late wife.
Oh, my goodness. I can't talk here. My shift is over in 10 minutes. Can you wait a while?
Can I get a refill over here, Mary?
Coming right up.
Mary Purnell, the angel Joe Dunn found in his golden years.
We'd been seeing each other for almost 2 years. It all started with, well, weekdays I start cleaning the gym at dawn, before my shift at the diner. Joey always came in early, just a little after I got there. He used to say it was the best time for the worst task of the day.
Oh, I know exactly what he meant. Say no more. Paperwork.
He really hated it. One morning, he saw me crying. I was having a rough day and...
He tried to make you smile.
He pointed at the coffee machine. You need a cup of joe and some fresh air. That was the first of many cups on the rooftop.
Which is where you seduced him.
I'm a decent woman, Mr. Blacksad. You might be too young to understand this, but real love has little to do with seduction. One day, we realized those rooftop coffees were the best part of our day. So we began to spend more time together.
But you never told anyone. Or perhaps you told someone else?
No one. Joey didn't want Sonia to hear about it from someone else before we were sure of the relationship. He was afraid that our relationship would only make matters worse. Until one day, on the rooftop, we realized just how serious our relationship was. And we decided to turn those moments into a lifetime.
So he asked you to marry him?
Yes, of course. He gave me the wedding ring and we decided to tell the world. He said he needed to share that happiness with his little girl. Turns out, he wasn't that happy after all.
What about you? How did you feel about telling Sonia?
Maybe you already noticed, I have a slight cold. I really should be heading home.
Maybe you should cover your neck.
I lost my scarf a while back, not sure where. And now, if you'll excuse me, that's my bus stop. A pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Blacksad.
Right. Sonia's indifference never ceased to amaze me. But most importantly, why was she so opposed to Ye?
John Blacksad? I think I owe you an apology.
Apology accepted. But what exactly are you apologizing for?
Listen, I don't think my fellow workers treated you with the respect you deserve. I'm so sorry they wrinkled your suit. The thing is, they didn't know we shared a common goal. Bobby Yale. I want to find him and get to the bottom of this as much as you do, Mr. Blacksad. So please, kindly accept my invitation. Why not share our findings? Come on.
Of course. You don't mind me riding in this fancy car with a wrinkled suit, do you?
Aw, I think you look mighty dapper, Mr. Blacksad. Although, if those wrinkles were to rub off on me... I always play it nice and safe. Thank you, Blacksad. You won't regret this. So let's cut to the chase. I need Bobby Yale to fight Stone. There's just too much money at stake. So, I'm offering you my help to find Yale. Let's work together.
What kind of help do you need?
A simple exchange of information. You're a good detective, and I, well, let's just say I have my own ways of making people talk.
I think I'll have to pass this time.
Why? What? Do my own ways scare you? Please, hear me out. Let's say I bet a beer that we find Yale in 3 days, and you bet a beer that we don't. In 3 days, one of us has to buy the other a beer. Is that so bad? We're simply two grown men using our money and free will to conduct a small private exchange. And most importantly, we're not hurting anyone. So, yeah, I run a gambling business. What's so bad about that?
It's immoral, for starters.
Immoral? I'll tell you what's immoral. The way our government is ruining America. We live in a so-called free country, a place where honest people can make a living, provided they don't hurt anybody. We're not communists. Well, at least I'm not.
I would have never thought otherwise. As for me, let's just say I sympathize with their cause.
Fair enough. You sure look the part. In any case, that's not my point. The government betrays our nation's values by passing communist laws that forbid an honest man like me to make a living without hurting a soul. And that, Mr. Blacksad, is just wrong. I'd even say it's unconstitutional. Do you get my point now?
Okay, but that doesn't justify what you do for a living.
Oh boy. Did you hear anything I just said? Anyway, when the government passes these laws, there's only one legitimate weapon the people can wield. The same weapon that turned America into a great nation. Civil disobedience. So, as the proud American that I am, it's my duty to disobey.
You're bending the truth to justify organized crime.
Oh no. It might have been organized crime, but not anymore. I wasn't always a boss, you know. No, sir. I started at the bottom, when Lucky Blitzen ran the show. That good for nothing. His was a reign of terror, extortion, violence, you know, that sort of unpleasant thing. When I took over, I decided I'd make people want to do my bidding. Not out of fear, but out of gratitude. I decided to help people so they would help me.
That beating your thugs gave me was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Those poor bastards didn't even know you were a detective, that you were on our side.
Maybe at first. But when they tied me up and beat the socks off me, they knew very well who I was.
Seriously? That goes against my rules. Who was it?
It was just Wilson.
That bastard. Don't you worry. I will have a serious talk with him. I cannot tolerate this behavior. Please, accept my apologies, Mr. Blacksad. You see, a lot of people work for me. Many families depend on my business. Not only that, St. Christopher's Hospice practically lives on my donations. The widows of my late employees are set for life. Their kids get free schooling. The cops leave me alone because they know my business doesn't hurt anyone. On the contrary. And, it looks like we're here.
Yale's apartment?
I told you, I'm on your side. Go ahead, search the place. I'll wait down here. When you're done, Maybe you'll change your mind and share your findings with me. Or not. It's your call, Mr. Blacksad. I'll make sure you're suitably compensated. Wilson, come here.
Hmm. Ugh. 17th century French fables. Mayor must be one boring old lady. The worst thing about O'Leary's boys dropping by isn't the beating, but the fact that I can't tell what's theirs and what's Yale's. Doesn't seem like the best food for a boxer. Then again, it could be your classic bookie thug lunch. I'm not sure how Yale's love of pickles will help me crack the case, but it's good to know. A woman's fragrance, almost angelical. That means she's been here recently, but why? What does Sweet Mary have to do with Yale, the murder suspect? So, you like your mob stories, don't you, Bobby? Seems like Bobby inherited something more than boxing skills from his father, besides the tendency to vanish into thin air, of course. Nice chain. Why would you want such a big closet for so few clothes? Unless someone emptied it recently. Copy 1 of 3. Do you know any of his relatives?
His father, Avenarius.
Avenarius? The boxer poet? Didn't he disappear 20 years ago? Judging by the general state of the apartment, they were leading a quiet life. So, you like your mob stories, don't you, Bobby? Judging by the general state of the apartment, they were leading a quiet life. With people like O'Leary, you just never know. I didn't want to put Mary at risk. Why not take her a little something instead? I'd never trusted angels.
Mr. Blacksad? What a...
Surprise? When they fall, they turn into demons.
Joey told me he was going to spend the afternoon painting the gym and that Bobby would be fixing something up on the roof. So, after I found the body and called the police, I went to Bobby's place, but he wasn't there.
How did you open the door to his apartment?
I think it was already open. Everything is so confusing. I'm sorry, Mr. Blacksad.
Don't be. I'm here to figure it all out. What's your relationship with Bobby Yale?
He was like a son to Joey, and we were about to get married, so, you know.
Okay, I think it's time to set things straight. I knew you were cheating on Dunn with Yale. Or was it the other way around?
No. How can you even think of something like that?
How can you convince me otherwise? I found a picture at Yale's apartment. It's you and him on a roller coaster. Care to explain, Miss Purnell?
I'm not white, Mr. Blacksad.
What?
7 of my great-grandparents were white. The 8th was black. According to law, I'm a black citizen, even if my skin says the contrary. Do you know what that means when you're born in North Arlington, Alabama?
Segregated schools and a worse education for colored children.
We even have different water fountains, for God's sake. The separate but equal doctrine and all that.
That garbage.
And all the lies. That's why I moved here. No one knows what color my great-grandparents were.
I'm black too, and I don't hide it.
Well, at least you're a man.
In any case, what's that have to do with Bobby Yale?
He's my nephew, Mr. Blacksad. Joe and I first started taking care of poor Bobby when my sister died. That was when he was almost 15. The three of us went on that trip to Luna Park.
So this is where Joe Dunn comes in.
Bobby was the only one who knew about me and Joey. We were afraid that someone would use my past to ruin his career.
It's not the first time I hear that story. I'm sorry I accused you so lightly.
Don't worry, I understand.
TV and radio all in one. Where will these mad times lead us? Mary smells like... Actually, the whole room smells like a pie fresh out of the oven, so I can't identify any other fragrances. That cherry pie smells so good. I'm starting to get hungry.
Thanks. I pulled it out of the oven right before you arrived. Oh, where are my manners? I'm the worst hostess in the world. Let me go get a knife from the kitchen. And you must be thirsty. Let me see. OJ? Coffee?
I'll take some coffee, thanks. She's wearing the same clothes in both pictures, so she's probably telling the truth. Sorry, I was going to help you with that. I couldn't help but notice a queen-size bed in the room.
You what?
Sorry. I had to make sure Bobby Yale wasn't hiding in there.
Oh, yeah, sure. Joey bought this place. It was going to be our home after the wedding. I left my apartment and moved in so I could save some money.
If he had left his own apartment and moved in, you could have saved twice the money.
I'm no hooker, Mr. Blacksad.
You should open a bakery and sell these pies.
Thanks. Joey used to say the same thing.
Are you sure you don't know where your nephew is?
I've looked everywhere. He's nowhere to be found.
Don't worry. I'll find him.
Thank you.
Your secret is safe with me.
Thanks. It means a lot to me.
About Sonia Dunn and the ring, I managed to hide the truth from her.
I appreciate it, but at the same time...
What?
No, nothing. Maybe she has a right to know.
Now that there's almost no pie left, the scent has also disappeared. Interesting. Now Mary smells like a huge dog. Mary, when are you going to stop lying? I know your nephew is here. I can smell him.
What? No. I already told you I don't know where he is.
Look, I understand why you're protecting him, but it's in his best interest to end this hide and seek.
You can search the whole house if you want. Go ahead. He's not here.
Look, if he's making you do this, just tell me. I'll protect you.
Bobby would never do that.
If he's not here right now, he must have left shortly before I got here. Where did he go?
Shortly before you got here? I wish.
Wait a minute. She's not the one who smells like that.